Vlogtober. It is October 31st. It's Halloween, and it's game 6 of the World Series. I'm just saying. But anyways, today we are going to make ourselves a pumpkin sourdough donut. And it's not a pumpkin. It's just going to be a bunch of pumpkin donuts. So we got Fred. You can't even see Fred. We got Fred here. We're going to be using Fred Jr. today. We're going to be using some white sugar. We're going to be using some spices, some milk. I made a quick pumpkin puree. It's not as dry as the first one that I made, but we made it nonetheless. Okay? So today's the last day of us hanging out for, the daily live stream. It's been fun. And I know it's a little late today because normally I do this at 6, 7, the latest. Sometimes I even do it during the day. But today I had a rough day. I had to go to the doctor. My back was hurting me. There's a whole lot of stuff that happened today. So now we're here. All right, so to start, we are going to add our ingredients that are wet, technically, along with the spices and the sugar to the bowl. We're gonna see what we got going on. So yeah, I did make a dough prior to, so I will show you eventually. So what I typically like to do is come up with stuff that don't take forever to rest because I want to eat. I want to let this sit here, and I have to wait 5, 6, 7 hours, a whole day before I can eat it. So this one, let's see how this works. Okay, this is my first time making this, as with most of my sourdough creations. But we're about to have a good time because I've been thieving for these donuts because it's going to be stuffed with pumpkin butter. It's going to be rolled and tossed up in some cinnamon sugar. I'm going to put a maple glaze over it. Okay? I'm going to pig out today. So anyway, I'm going to show you my discard. This is Fred Jr. This is what we have. This is what we're using today. Okay, he's been brewing since March of this year. And he smells very good and he's very active and we love him over here. So for the recipe, I am going to give you guys in cups as well, but if you typically use cups, you would have to actually convert it because I'll use weights. Okay, so we're going to use about 120 grams of discard. I would say active, however, mine is in the fridge. It's still active in the fridge. So you can use whatever discard you have, honestly. It's about the flavor. And usually once anything sourdough hits heat, it expands. So I'm hoping that this does the same exact thing and it doesn't actually embarrass me. But we are making some pumpkin sourdough. It's going to be filled with pumpkin butter because I've been craving it. I've been talking about this for the longest time. I also like to be very accurate when it comes to the actual discard because I find that if I use too much of the discard, it's going to be gummy and it's not actually going to taste good. Hi, Mazen. So I'm just going to do that. Forgive me if I'm not actually seeing your messages. I'm kind of blind. I'm kind of blind. Kind of looking in one direction, but I got you. I will see it eventually. Okay, so we have 120 grams discard that you're going to equal out to about a half cup roughly. How you would measure that in cups because you feel like you have to do too much scraping to make sure you got the exact measurement. Makes no sense. So we are going to add some milk. I'm going to warm it up in the microwave. we need about 60 grams of milk. Warm milk, my place is cold, my discard is cold, so I just want to warm it up a bit. Will actually help the dough as we continue. Okay. So for the milk, it's going to be 60 grams, which is about a quarter cup roughly. You can use canned milk, you can use bag milk, carton milk. Honestly, you can probably even use coconut milk. You can probably use almond milk. It's not going to be as rich, but it'll work. I think you can use whatever you have. That's my motto. I use what I got and make it work. If it doesn't work, I know for next time. Right? Okay. So we are gonna mix this in. Now this recipe does call for butter. The unfortunate thing is I don't currently have butter on hand. I never not have butter. So for butter, you would add 45 grams, which is about 3 tablespoons. I honestly would melt the butter, but you don't have to melt it. You can just add it in a little bit after, as if you would, like, let's say, brioche. You just add it in after everything is in, but you do need butter. Well, it's not a need, clearly. If you want it to be rich, you would add butter. That's all I'm saying. I'm not adding butter to this one. So we're gonna see how the dough looks. Okay. So now that we have that mixed in, I'm gonna add the pumpkin puree. Again, this is homemade. You can use store-bought, no issues, but make sure it's dry. By dry, I mean it's not swimming in its own liquid because pumpkin has a lot of water. So you kind of want to make sure you squeeze out the excess water when you're making pumpkin puree. Okay, so we are gonna 150 grams, and that is about 2/3 cup roughly. With 150 grams. Now, if your pumpkin is a bit on the sweet side, you'll know. My pumpkin is not sweet. Okay, I don't know what was wrong with this batch. That way, it's not sweet. So how I like to make my puree, I like to bake the pumpkin. Don't want to cook it because I want to introduce more moisture, liquid. So you kind of just, you bake it, let it cook, and then you let it sit so like some of the water can drain. And then you run it through your food processor, blender, or your hand, whichever. Then you will strain and have some pumpkin puree. Okay, so we're just gonna mix the puree into our discard. Technically, you don't have to do this step. You can just add all the ingredients and the spices together and then add your flour and mix. But I like to add them in stages, especially if it's the first time I'm making something, so that I can actually see how everything reacts, how everything looks. Just much. This is just something that I do just so I can make a note of what's happening and why things are different, or why they smell the way they do, why they look the way they do. So this is the mixture that we have. Color, not bad. Be a little darker, it could be. So now we're gonna add some spices. We're gonna add some sugar, and then we're gonna add our so- yeah, vanilla, vanilla as well. So you can add vanilla extract if you're looking to get uh, flavor. Honestly, it's pumpkin spice, right? So you can add a tablespoon if you want, but to be safe, add a teaspoon. I'm adding a tablespoon because I like vanilla. But you can add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you don't like vanilla, you can use pretty much anything that will go with pumpkin. You have to make sure that the flavors match and go together. That's how I do it. So we're gonna add some sugar. I am using white sugar. If you use brown sugar, use a light brown sugar, not the dark brown sugar. You don't want it to overwhelm it and you don't want it to be too heavy because brown sugar can make your dough on the heavy side and you don't necessarily want that to happen. So for the sugar, we're going to add 50 grams, and 50 grams is about roughly 3 tablespoons, give or take. Now, this is my vanilla sugar, so it's like vanilla beans already used up to make extract or anything. I stick it in here in my sugar and just let it sit. And it will just continuously take on the vanilla flavor. Doesn't even matter how long it's been here. These have been there for about 2 years. I just refill. Once my sugar's down, I refill and I let it sit. And you'll continuously have vanilla sugar. Because those little pods, honestly, they have a bunch. They have a significant amount of flavor. If you want to grind them up. So I'm going to put the spices in here in the liquid section because it will actually help to release a lot of the oils in the spices. So we're going to add some ginger. This is a quarter teaspoon of ginger. I'm going to add a little less than a quarter teaspoon of cloves, but a lot more than an eighth teaspoon. If you want to use an eighth teaspoon, you can. There's no rule for you not to use it or how much you should use. So cinnamon, I'm also just going to add in a quarter teaspoon. And then I'm going to grate some ginger. For the cinnamon, I just grated it off of the cinnamon stick that I have. And that's it. You can use powdered cinnamon or you can grate your own and use fresh. There's no issue behind that. So nutmeg itself, also to about a quarter teaspoon. I'm using fresh nutmeg because I just love the smell of it. It just adds to the warmth. It's supposed to add to the warmth, you know? So we're just gonna add a little bit in there. Because adding too much nutmeg will actually make your product look a little bitter. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. So this is extract, our discard, our milk, sugar, spices, and you do want to add a little bit of salt, just so that all the flavors kind of come together, round out. Not a lot. Maybe a quarter teaspoon. 1 teaspoon would be too much. Maybe half teaspoon. You kind of just want it to add to the flavor. All right, so this is what the dough. It's gonna be a dough. It looks like a batter right now, but this is what it's starting out as. So now we are gonna add the flour. Now the flour part might be a little tricky, especially with pumpkin and anything, because pumpkin has excess water. So you want to start with the lower end of the water, not the water, but the flour content, which would be about 250 grams, which is equal out to be about 2 cups. However, this may take just a little more flour. So you can go up to 270 to 280, depending on what your dough does. Because sometimes your dough will just be there, it's not doing anything. Right? Sometimes you need to mix it a little longer. Sometimes you need to add just a little bit of flour just to get some traction going. So there's a few things. So we're going to add the flour in. So we're going to start with 250 grams, honestly, and then we're going to mix and see what. So this is about 250 grams. Now I'm also going to measure out the extra, but I'm going to do 30 grams instead of 20, just in case. So now we are going to mix this dough. You can use your hand, use your mixer, use whatever works for you. That's pretty much all I can say. Some people don't like making bread in a mixer. I like convenience, right? I will mix it in a mixer, but I also know how to make bread by hand. So I just choose to use a mixer. Okay, so we're gonna mix this together and we're gonna see how it comes together. Colors are looking like, if this is gonna be something that we need to have surgery on, because every time we do a live stream of sourdough, it's always something. Always something. Okay, so we're gonna mix this in. That's what you're seeing. And we're gonna hope that it mixes together and it's fine and it comes together and it's not super sticky. Because that's usually the issue with anything pumpkin. It's the excess water, so it's just very sticky. It's gonna take a little bit, and we're just gonna mix it together. So right now it's 250 grams of flour, which is about 2 cups. And here is where you would add the butter. You can add the butter here. You can add the butter after you go add the. So I am gonna help with just a little bit. If you maybe not. Yeah, I'm gonna help with a little bit. Just gonna push things down just so that the dough can actually grab onto stuff. Because what? It smells amazing. That's one thing. The sourdough coming through, but the spices and the pumpkin for sure, definitely coming through. And I am hoping it fries well. But fried anything is awesome. So we're just gonna mix this. This isn't a dough that you're gonna need to add liquid. 'Cause please, please just mixing in and it should be good. Oh yeah, there we go. So you just need some time just to grab onto the side just so that it can, form the beautiful dough that I know it's gonna be. It better be. Well, yes, I'm actually really excited because I've been craving this. I've never had a sourdough pumpkin donut. I've been craving this since I mentioned it on one of our past lives that I wanted to just try to make it. Stuff it with some pumpkin butter. Do you understand that that's a fat girl's dream? A fat girl right now? Fat girl. Anything. I'm a fatty. I love me some fried dough. Really do. And we're gonna do this one. Okay. Okay. So the dough, this is what the dough is here to apply comes to be nice. You're getting the nice smell of sourdough. You're getting the nice smell of spices. Perfect. Now, this to me, it's actually not as sticky as the first one. The first one had butter. We'll show you. But it does need maybe a little bit more flour, just a smidgen, and we're gonna make it work. So, like I said, it's 250 in here, but we can go as far as 270 to 280, depending on your dough. So right now, this is an additional 30 grams. I'm not going to put all of it just yet because I want to see what happens with the dough. So this is the additional flour. But as you can see, the dough is a little bit soft, but it's coming together and holding it in, which is what we're using. And it's fried dough, so it should just automatically pop up. But you never, anything can actually happen. So this is the dough lifting up, it's lifting good. Now, okay, so it's overall, like you can see my finger, it is not like 100% sticking, but it is soft, and that's fine. You just don't want it to be a situation where as soon as you touch the dough, it looks like pancake batter. You don't want that, unless that is what your recipe is telling you need to see. So, and I think also too adding butter will soften it some more. So you will need that little bit of leeway with the actual extra flour. So the dough itself is not ready. It's still super shaggy. Now, if this was a typical bread dough, when I pull this, you want it to be nice and smooth. You don't want it to look shaggy, and you also don't want to see any holes. Okay? So this one, because it's just a donut dough, still bread, but not your traditional bread. We're gonna mix it in just enough so that the gluten is developed enough, and we're gonna rest it. Again, I try not to make anything that needs to be rested for an extended period of time because I'm greedy. I want to eat things and I want to eat stuff now. So when I make things, I make them to support my lifestyle. I want to eat now. Adding in the rest of my flour will help me. Okay, oh, this is good. And we are going to have a good time because I hope it works out. I really do. I really, really, really hope. I love me some fried sourdough. Okay? It's delicious. Again, this is what it looks like. We're just waiting for the last bit of flour to incorporate. So for this one, we did make a previous donut a few months ago with sourdough on my channel, and it was perfect. They were nice, airy, delicious. So I was craving pumpkin donut. So we're gonna see if it works. A slightly different recipe than the first one that I had. So we'll see. I think it works. Okay. So this is your ball. It's not sticking to the side. Okay, good. So we're good. So right now we're leaving this for gluten development. So the dough should be tacky. See, I selected a few times. It should be tacky, not sticky. Even if it sticks to your hand, it shouldn't be something where you're like, oh my gosh, this is so much dough. So as you can see previously, I showed you, it's less saggy, but it still needs a little more time to get a nice smooth window pane. That's usually how you know your gluten is fully developed. Get a nice window pane. The ball is smooth. The dough isn't shaggy. There's no like anything hanging around. That's how you can tell that it's good. Some bread doughs, you let it rest, and then you like typical sourdough bread doughs, you let it rest, and you can do your bowls, and that will develop the gluten. Regular breads, you mix it until it's fully developed. Some doughs, you don't need it. You kind of just mix or combine, and that's it. So it just depends on what you're going for. What what's the type of bread that you're making? What's the outcome? Because this is gonna give you a tighter crumb. So like the more gluten development, the better for some. But it should be good. So yeah, this sometimes happens right here. We have it flat line from a full long ball stop pancake. It happens. It's still needed, it's still gonna work. At some point it might pull away from the side, and we might need to help it by using a bowl scraper to pull it from the side. Easiest thing that you can do. Flour is not always the answer when it comes to bread. Most of the time, it is just knowing what you're looking for from an actual dough for you to know. Because if you're making a dough like brioche, it's gonna look like this because it's gonna be nice and soft, nice and sticky, and soupy. But see, it's it's been kneading, it's been good. But as I say, it is tacky, not sticky. If you have the right amount of liquid versus your flour in here, you should be fine because it is a soft dough, but it's not supposed to be sticky. And the more you knead it, the better it is for you. It just helps you. I think I want to do it a little more because it's almost to the point that I like to see my doughs. So just to show you, it's not as shaggy. You still see some shag, but compared to the first time I showed you the window pane, it's not as shaggy. So the smoother it becomes, the better. Because you know, when you see recipes and they say knead it until you get a smooth ball, that's what they're referring to. They want you to knead it so that the gluten is fully developed and the smoothness of the ball is naturally formed. It's not because you rounded it on the table in a ball. It's just because you've actually kneaded it for the right period of time and the gluten has enough time to develop. Now, some of you might be like, I don't think that's right. That's all right. I might not be right about a lot of things, you know? I can only tell you what I know and show you how to do it, how I know how to do it. That's all I can do. So we're just gonna make this just a little longer. I'm gonna get my dough up and then we're gonna Friend sourdough. It truly is. I'm just gonna add a little flour to that. It's not a lot. You can lightly oil the bowl. You can do that. That's an option. Since this has butter in it, sometimes okay, so I'm thinking perfect. Coming into its own, forming some ball. That's what you're looking for. That's exactly what you're looking for. What's it called? Beating itself up? You're good to go. So yeah, so you see how it moved from being like a plop at the bottom and then it just started to form its own ball? That usually happens when the gluten is fully developed or almost to where it needs to be. And again, it is tacky, not sticky. Even if you have residual dough on your hand, you know the difference between sticky and tacky. Sticky, your hand is just completely 100% on it. Your fingers are all like everything would be white, green, whatever color dough you have, brown, yellow, orange. Okay, so this is our donut. Wrap it up. Okay, it is 100% ready, in my opinion. So I am going to just do a little cutesy ball, nothing fancy. I'm gonna put it to rest. Now, fried dough, again, I put flour in this, but you can lightly oil the bowl. That's fine. You do not have to actually um, put flour. The oiling it is fine. It is okay. No chefs would be mad at actually balling this thing up before resting. But it's okay. You can tuck it. You can do whatever. Now here's another thing. If you are handling a dough and your dough is sticky, it's tacky, but it's still sticking to you, you can do one of two things. You can wet your hand, the dough is gonna fall off. You can wet your hand, touch it, roll it up, right? Or you can dip your fingertips in a little bit of flour, and that will just help you to manage the dough a lot better. These are just little things that you can do because I didn't know at the time. I know some people don't know that that's what you can do. You can put water on your fingertips, boom, you're good. Just gonna put that in here and I'm gonna make this. Water was on my fingertips, boom, problem solved. Dough's not sticking to me anymore. Flour on your fingertips, same thing. The dough won't stick to you. I personally prefer water. It's just a lot easier to handle because your hands aren't drenched in water. It's just essentially your hands should just be damp. So I'm not telling you to soak your hands in water and then touch it because why you add water to your dough? Don't do that. You just need your hands to be just a little damp. Okay, so we have this dough. We are gonna rest this for 1 to 2 hours. I mean, that should be enough time for it to work. You rest it in a warm place. I typically like leaving it in the oven with the light on. That usually works. Or turn the oven on to less than 150 degrees. Sorry, less than, just to warm it up, right? And then turn it off, open the oven door, and then put your product. Now, I made a dough previously. I'm gonna be honest with you, this one's better. Always better the second time around. I already know this one's gonna be the better option. That's okay. We're gonna try to make some donuts with the first one. You learn from your mistakes. You learn how to do a little bit differently after you do it the first time. So this is the dough we just made. This is pumpkin sourdough. It has pumpkin puree, homemade vanilla extract. It has our discard. It also has some milk, some sugar, and some spice. All of it. This dough does not have butter. You can add butter if you want a richer flavor. You can add butter. Is it mandatory? Clearly not. I'm telling you, I am the queen of if I don't have it and I still want it, I'm still gonna make it. That's pretty much what this is. So this dough does not have butter, but the one that I'm about to share with you, okay, this one has been resting for about 2 hours. You can see it's all glossed over. And it actually rose a bit, like it kind of out and up, because when it went into the oven to relax, it looks like this. Yeah. So it was chilling for about 2 hours in the oven, just chilling. So now we're gonna see what this dough actually because baby, okay, I have questions. This is the dough. You touch it. It has some air pockets happening. It's looking good. It's looking good. So what we're gonna do? Oh, I'm so nervous. My mom. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna lightly put it on here. Lightly roll it so I can cut it into squares with my cookie cutter, if I can find it. Because I want to stuff it. Let's do this. I'm excited. I do. I want to stuff it with some pumpkin butter. 'Cause I mean, I've done the ones with the holes. I don't want it to hold. I want to do a stuffed. I want to do a stuffed donut. Is it gonna work? I don't know. That's a problem. I'll never know. Until it happens, I never know. I need all that flour, but the flour is to help prevent it from sticking. Right? So we also need to get some parchment paper because you know donuts. You kind of just want to put them on. What did I throw that out? You want to put them on something so that when you put it into the oil, you can release it. Easy release, no issues for you. I don't know why I threw that plastic wrap out. I'm covering it because I don't want it to create a skin before I'm ready to use it. Again, so this has been sitting out for an hour. We're gonna make some little squares, a little bit. This recipe is supposed to give you 8 to 12 donuts, but I really and truly think that depends on the size that you create. If you create smaller mini donuts, you'll get a lot. If you use the biggest option, so like your cookie cutter, or if you do a knife and you want to cut it into like a bigger option, like a bigger piece, it depends. It's supposed to give you 8 to 12 pieces. Tell you right now, that looks like one big donut to me. It really is like one big donut. I think if we roll it like this, and then we roll it like that. There we go. And have enough pieces. Yeah, just be resourceful. Use what you have. If you don't have a cookie cutter, don't be okay. Use a knife. Roll it out lightly, and then use a knife. I mean, maybe I'll use a knife if I can't find my cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? Don't be mad. These are a little big, but it's okay. At least I have them. That's acceptable. But here's the thing. I'm the queen of making multiple things from one thing. So we'll see what that other thing produces. Okay, so we have this ready. We also need getting everything ready. And so that once we start drying, we have no issues. We have no issues once we start frying it. So this is where we're gonna take the cut and rolled pieces. We're just gonna here. You can use a plate. You don't have to use a tray. I'm just using a tray because I'm used to just using a tray. Okay. Point is, I want you guys to just use what you have. That's it. You don't have to use any fancy equipment, tools, or anything. Just use what you got. That's it. It's as simple as it gets. Okay. So I'm just checking it. Ooh, no one actually responded to the poll. That's okay. Maybe you guys are not baseball fans. I mean, I'm not a baseball fan, but you never know. So we are going to start. We have to get the rolling pin here. We already have our flour ready. And then we are also going to get our, it's going to be square because I mean, I can do the round ones, but round is so boring right now. I'm going to use the square. So this is the so we are squares. That is very interesting. I typically keep them all together. And now I actually don't know. So I will not have the cutters actually do the squares. It's always chaotic over here. Yes, everything has its own place. Very interesting. You know what? I'm just gonna use a knife. Everything has its place. Everything has everything has its own place. I found one, but I can't find the big one. Never. Listen, why is this still wet? Clean you. You don't even understand. What's leaking? You. Make sure everything is dry. The worst thing you can have is a wet counter workspace that your product is going to be on. I really wanted the that's gonna bother me now. I wanted the cutters because I would get precise cuts. I don't trust my knives, right? So we have a nice dry workspace. What the hell? To say about that. It's very disappointing as well too. So, I do. I really need to get the squares because I don't trust my knives. They are not round enough, sharp enough. It's very interesting. Okay, it's fine. Make it work. That's fine. I'm not stressing. We got the dough here. This is the pumpkin sourdough donut dough. Now I'm here. I'm so mad I can't find it. We're gonna use a knife. I might have to sharpen it, but we're gonna use it. All right. I'm gonna keep this here because we are going to use it to color. The water coming through here. Okay, so this is the dough. I'm gonna lightly flour the work surface. As you can see, it's light, right? Nothing fancy. It's also wet. What is happening here? They're just gonna take the dough out. You can see it's not sticky. There's no residual anything. If you use oil or butter, it should still be fine. You just want to do a light dusting. You know what else you can do? You can put it in like a cheesecloth and just stamp it. You could do that. So we are gonna lightly roll it. We don't want to flatten it too much. But also, too, the one thing that you have to remember is that it will definitely rise up when the heat gets to it. So when we're frying it, it is going to puff up. So you want to make sure you roll it evenly enough so that you can go around. You can do small, you can do large, and you see the little air pockets, nice and rested. Baby, I'm saying right now, I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna make this work. Okay, so do you see the thickness? Can you see the thickness? All right, make sure you have. I don't know if this is gonna work. This so feels like it's gonna give me some issue. We are gonna do one round just to see how that will work. If this is smaller, yeah, this is small. We're gonna do one round, and we're gonna do squares. Right? I don't know if it's gonna work. I'm nervous actually. I don't know. We'll see. So, because it is soft, right? Ooh. So I'm just using a palette knife just to get it up. Yeah, the dough is really soft. You want to make sure you have enough flour at the bottom. I don't know, man. I don't know how this is gonna work. Maybe it would have been better if I just kind of kept the original donut thing. So, I want it to be what I want it to be, so it's gonna be. Okay? So we are gonna just this here, nice and clean. Not nice and clean. You gotta make sure your knife is straight, your knife is sharp. You also want to make sure you have not even a lot, but enough flour for your dough. 'Cause the dough is soft. Soft dough. I don't know. This is not gonna be straight. This is gonna be I'm I'm so concerned. I don't even care about the shapes right now. I just want to make sure I get my vision out, right? That's what I'm concerned about. I just want to get my vision. I just want to make my vision work. Yeah, I know I'll need some time to figure it out. This is gonna cover the excess dough. Listen, we are going to we are going to make sure that the vision comes through. That's what we're gonna do. And I think that's what I love the most about baking is that you gotta think of ooh, you gotta think about it and you gotta be like, yeah, we're gonna try to make this work. Cooking is a lot easier than baking. And don't let anyone tell you different. Cooking is a lot easier than baking, okay? A whole lot easier. So I don't have my cutter, so we're just gonna use the knife. Make sure it's a nice, deep, sharp. Knife. I don't care if they're not shaped perfectly. I just wanna execute my vision for these donuts. That's all I do. Just try to execute my vision. Hopefully they work. Um, to make it work. Nice clean cuts or else you're gonna have issues like this. But I'm not concerned about that. I know it's gonna taste good. So for me, I'm not worried about the taste. I'm concerned about the shape. I'm like, are you gonna puff up enough for me to fill you up with some pumpkin butter? Are you gonna puff up enough so people know it's a donut? Obviously, if I put a hole in it, you know it's a donut. But I kind of wanna keep it full. Again, we're not concerned about the shape because I have the cutter that I personally like to use. We're not concerned about shape. Shape will come into play once we figure out if this recipe works or not. Fried, right? The whole point is to figure out if this recipe is worth it and work. Sometimes you're not gonna get both. Sometimes you're just gonna get a working recipe that you know it's good, but it might not deliver on the there's that. And there's the it's gonna deliver on looks, but maybe the flavor just isn't right. So now you have to come up with something new. So it's a working relationship that you have with the products. I tell you. You gotta have an idea what you want to make, how you want it to look, and then try to execute based on. But first, you got the flavors. What flavors are going to work well together for you? Right? You get that going. And you figure out how to balance your recipe. So you might have to do some baker's math. What's your hydration level for your product? Do you want a high hydration product or do you want it balanced? Do you want it low? Like, what do you want? These are all things that you need to ask yourself before you start making things. And after you have that down, and you're like, what's your cooking method? Are you gonna bake it? Are you what are you gonna do? Right? I like things that are not shaped the way things are supposed to be shaped. Make that. Please ask yourself a lot of questions before you actually start baking or making anything. Because if you do not, you will end up with some science experiments. Okay? Ask me how I know. You gotta just be patient, be very patient, and you'll be fine. Because have you never tried someone's recipe online? Oh my gosh, why does the pictures look so good? And then you're like, I use the same exact ingredients that they told me to use, and it didn't work. Sometimes it works like that. So it's all about knowing your product, knowing your end result, so that in the midst of production, if you have to adjust, you adjust based on that. Right? We're gonna make another round one. We made sourdough funnel cakes. That was a funny little because I didn't know if it was gonna work or not. Right? See? Perfection. Now that it's been out for a while, got a little air, and also got some flour. Perfect. We're not gonna talk about the squared one. Okay? They're not science experiments, they're my children. And we're probably just gonna bake this one. Not even bake, but we're gonna practice it. You know, you could do it all sorts. You don't have to do a traditional anything. You do not. See, leftover dough, they're gonna be puffed up. It's gonna be delicious. You just gotta do what works. Do. Not all recipes given work out. You just gotta figure out what you need to do, how to make it work. And it works. So I'm just gonna tidy this up here. What I'm gonna do also is start the oil. We need the oil to be hot. So I'm gonna start heating up this oil here, and we're gonna hope for the best. We really are because I'm always like this when I bake stuff. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. It's one of the things that it might work and it's not. And I don't get mad if it does not work. I've done it enough times to know. Sometimes baking things on the first try might not work out. It really might not. So you gotta learn from your first try and what you would do differently. That's why we have redemption fees. Okay? anything that didn't work for our sourdough, we go back, visit, and try to get it done. So that's just one thing you gotta know. I might give you this recipe and you're gonna be like, I watched her do this. And it doesn't work for you. It happens. It really does happen. Because you gotta take into account your environment. How hot or cold is your environment? Right? That's one question to ask yourself. Are your ingredients fresh? That's another question. Ask yourself. Right? Are the ingredients the same quality? That's another question. Because there's a lot of things outside of you that goes into baking that you really have no control over. Like zero. You just gotta work on your technique. That way, when you use different ingredients and you're in a different area, environment, oven, your product still comes out, right? I make pies all the time. One wasn't working once, and I went by my friend to use the oven, a pie burned. Are you having a conversation with me? So you just have to learn to adapt. There's change. There you go. There's a full blown science. Use thermometer because I want these things to burn. Okay. I'm gonna move the camera over so that you can actually get full access. The pot that I'm using is tiny. Okay. But we are gonna make it work. So this is gonna be our frying station. And we're gonna heat the oil to what's the fry point? Deep fry is about 370. That's about deep fry. So anywhere between 350, 370. 380 is gonna burn. We don't want that. Now, the one thing I managed to set up, I just have my fry pan. So once I take it off, it goes here to drain. And then you can toss it up. There's a few things you can do. You can toss it up with some cinnamon sugar, or you can glaze it. Right? You can dip it in an icing sugar glaze, or you can drizzle. There's a few things that you can do. Depends on how I feel, but you would have to dip it and toss it. Dip, but toss it when it's because that allows the sugar to actually the sugar and the cinnamon and stuff to actually stick to it. So I'm gonna get that ready while the oil is heating up. I'm gonna use some cinnamon. This is some old cinnamon sugar that I had. It also has brown sugar. I don't know what's gonna happen with the brown sugar, okay? But we using what we got. That's my motto. I'm not gonna go out of my way, put myself in any expense for anything, but try to use what I can. Usually Google will tell you. It's like, I know I'm not the only one thinking, hey, can I make this without this? And then boom, here goes a bunch of blog posts and recipes where you can like, yeah, you can do it, right? So you gotta work with what you got. And if what you got is limited, fine. You just make the best limited anything. That's what I do. Now, I'm not trying to tell you not to aim for better. Of course, aim for better. I'm just saying if you're in the patch right now where you're just down and you still wanna experience and certain things. You work with what you got. You figure it out. That's it. I'm so happy that this is our last day. That's I am. We've been don't do that 'cause I don't have any more cinnamon. We've been doing this live stream since October 1, baby. It's been a time. We've had sourdough series in between. You know, time, honestly. Well, we are going to be doing it again in December because why not? We are going to be doing Vlogmas stream style. And I'm excited for that. It'll be Christmas pretty much every day until Christmas Day. And after Christmas Day, y'all get what you get. That's how I'm gonna do it. I want to make a gingerbread house this year. Don't ask me how I'm gonna do it. Might just make the gingerbread and then make the gingerbread house. Options. Okay, we have options. So we are gonna fry these little guys first to see how they puff up, and then I really hope they puff up. Like I know they're gonna puff up. I just know. There's no way it's not gonna puff up. Okay? I just know it's gonna puff up. So the oil right now is at 260. We're almost there. But yeah, I did want to tell you guys, listen, this is a fun community, okay? Like it's a quiet one. I'm talking to myself, but I like talking to myself. It is fun. It is fun to be here because we do a lot of things. You guys are a major, major part of a lot. So a lot of what you want to see happens come automatically, but it will come, right? Sometimes I'm slow, but I still get it done. We definitely have a good time over here. So you have to join, okay? You should join the community. You really should. It is definitely a fun place to be, and we have some upcoming fun stuff. We do. Okay. I gifted a whole bunch of people with some memberships. Awesome. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. If you don't like it, you don't have to renew. It is what it is. But I just gifted a few people with some memberships for my channel because I am also going to try to revamp that. So we're having fun, good times, man. We really are. We really are gonna have some good times. Ain't gonna lie. Okay, so the oil is almost ready. You don't have a thermometer, okay? Easiest way to test is use a small piece of what you're cooking and just pop it in. It's already frying. So maybe the oil is ready. You want the oil to be super hot because if it's not hot enough, your product is going to be soggy. Okay? You're welcome, girly. I'm just trying a new thing. I never used it before. So I just wanted to test it out. If it's not something that you're into, you can definitely leave after the free trial period. I just wanted to test it out just to see how it would look, right? Yeah, if you don't have a thermometer, definitely just pinch a piece of something that you're baking to see. Okay. So it does look like the oil might be hot enough. Let's observe. Did it puff up enough for me to call this a donut? I don't know. I don't know. This is looking different. I mean, this has pumpkin in it, so you know, Ooh, oh no. It has pumpkin. It's gonna taste good, I know, but is it actually going to behave like a donut so I can stuff it? I don't think you're supposed to be hard, but okay. Alright, so the oil seems to be too hot, but the oil is hot enough. So we're gonna just fry one. Use the paper, don't use your hands. Please do not use your hands. Don't be like me. Okay? I'm testing it out. Okay, okay, okay. Coming, it's coming. First of all, these taste good, but you better taste good. Yo, puff up. Like, you know, perfection. It tastes good, but it's not getting as big as I want it to be. Okay, it's coming up for air, and that's usually when it's done. Oh, okay. Don't pop too much. Not step back because it looks like it's about to explode. Baby, don't pop. Baby, this is okay, really nice. Oh, just don't air pocket me and pop. Good. Just don't burn. I mean, this is a little brown. See you. Well, to go down because why are you at 400 degrees? Honestly, I think this is good. I think I'm gonna change the way I do this in terms of if I do this again, maybe I have to roll it a little thinner because it was probably like half inch. I probably need to be like a quarter inch, like really thinner, so that we can make it work. I don't know. And just wait for the temperature to cool down just a little because it's at 400. I know as soon as I put it in, it is going to burn. That is not something that we want. Okay. I don't want no burnt donuts because I have to stuff it with listen. Yo, the thermometer is off the charts. I can't. But the first little one, we can do a little one again. The first little guy that I did, it was amazing. Nice pumpkin flavor, delicious, perfection. Okay. I feel like where has this been my entire life? When you put them in at first, they sink to the bottom. But when they come up, they're nice and puffed up. I like to just stir them around because it will give them like a nice even color coding. The oil is hot, pretty hot. I turned it down. I just don't want it to burn, right? But as you can see, now these are gonna be a little crispy. We're gonna do this perfectly round one to see how this works. But this is awesome. I'm thinking if I did them a little bigger, the expansion would be better. Because instead of having all these mini ones, I could have a couple nice big ones, right? But you just never know how something is actually going to turn out until it turns out. That's the only thing. You won't know until it happens. So this is looking good. I don't know what's going on with the thermometer. It's off the charts. It's past 400 degrees. I just don't want it to burn, but it looks like it's. I also don't want it raw. It's supposed to be golden, not burnt. I'll be honest with you, I'm still gonna eat them. Never matter to me, but the oil is significantly hot, and I did turn it down. Probably gonna raise it up a little because it's really hot. Like it's just not cooling down. I don't even know why. It probably have a deep fryer. That would be better. You also want to make sure that your dough is cooked on the inside. There's that. So I'm just tossing it in some cinnamon sugar. Again, you can glaze it up. It's a little late for me over here, so I might not glaze it up today. That's just a me thing. But you want to make sure that your product is baked, not baked, fried. Because the oil is hot and the oil is too hot. Browning significant. Like significantly. I bet you the last bit that we do is probably gonna be nice and like golden hue. Not burnt. Oh jeez. The life of me for live streams. My goodness. You just gotta make it work. Now if you wanna make bigger pieces, make bigger pieces. But it's delicious. It's so delicious. Pumpkin flavors on one. Why does this look like a dog bone? A very small, tiny dog bone. But they don't take long to cook, clearly. I think my stove is malfunctioning. It's really hot. It's not going down at all. I really think the stove is malfunctioning. Because the thermometer is way past 400. Oh my goodness. I really hope y'all are cooked because the way how this is looking, ooh, it's looking like there's an issue here. You coming back down? But yeah, if you get nice clean cuts, it would make it better. Like all around. Nice clean cuts will definitely make this way better. You won't have jagged edges. And it'll be good. You have one more round that we can do. We'll see. It's finally coming down. It's jeez. You were hot. But also too, leaving it out now is okay. You just you let it do its thing. But these are good. This is what the inside looks like. The little one. Looks like a good donut to me. And it tastes amazing. Now I know people who make things and bake things always say that their stuff is amazing. I'm not lying. It's good. Like raw good. I mean, it's fried dough. Why wouldn't it be good? I'm technically only doing little at a time. I just wanted to have enough space because with me and these basting it, sure, it works out because it really looks that's all I'm saying. It's small enough that they should cook quickly with the heat, but they better be cooked. Because I'll be real upset if I'm walking through this thing, trying to eat this thing, and it's raw. That's it. Fall at all. But here's another thing. Like if you fry something, especially like one of these doughs, and if you suspect that it's not cooked and it's still raw, pop it in the oven. Just make sure you encase it into foil. Pop it in the oven for a little bit. Done. You don't have to worry about it. You'll still get the fried taste, but at least it'll be 100% cooked. That's another way of doing it. Yeah, I've done it. Right? So the oil is a little cooler, which is okay. We just gotta keep it rotating because these are looking like burnt biscuits. But yeah, again, I can only show you how I know how to make something. And this is definitely a test for us because I ain't gonna lie, it's really delicious. And I can't wait to fill some of them, not all, some of them with the pumpkin butter because they'll be so good. The next dough, the one that we made on live stream, I'm definitely gonna find my cookie cutter and I'm gonna just film the shorts with it. Because what? Trying to turn it into a cinnamon roll, and I really feel like it's gonna be a good cinnamon roll. I really do think so. I think it would be a good cinnamon roll, like for real, for real. Oh, that's me. I like turning all my doughs into a cinnamon roll, trying to see if it works. But honestly, these are a little brown. This is not good for business. Who's out there selling burnt donuts? The same thing with my caramel cake. The thing is, it's not burnt. It's just really dark. Because obviously the heat, right? It's not burnt. But for real though, who's buying burnt donuts? Maybe I can make it a big darkened ice pumpkin donuts. Oh, yes. But they smell amazing. They do. They really do smell amazing. And I'll be honest with you, just putting the cinnamon sugar on here is enough. Not too sweet, just enough. So you don't need a glaze, but if you want a glaze, you can glaze it, okay? Again, we're not gonna talk about the shape. I spent like a whole 10 minutes, 5 minutes trying to look for my cookie cutter. Wasn't happening. Okay, so class, when you fry something like dough and you put it down, it will sink to the bottom. And once it's cooking, it will rise to the top. See all the bubbles happening? And the bubbles will start to get a little less when it starts to float to the top. You'll hear it if you pay attention to it. You'll hear the bubbling. You'll hear how intense it is. You'll hear how it starts to decrease. You should start floating up to the top now. People think I'm lying. There we go. I'm just taking this one time, but it's not gonna come. You can see right here. Like making its way to the top. That's usually what happens, right? If it has enough room to expand, it will definitely make its way to the top nicely. Okay. I am going to try my best to make these again. I mean, look at it. Don't this look like a shark? It's like a ghost. It looked like a star I made when I was a child. What's in here? The random this that happens on these live streams. Like a little egg. Use this spoon again. Put sugar on there. Yeah, you just give it some time to come to the top. It'll be good to go. Again, if you are doing this, right, and you realize that your donuts aren't really fried all the way through, add them back, add them in the oven, bake them up. Why do I tail like this? Look at me, these people think you don't come from a good home. Oh, that's the last one. Okay, so we're gonna toss them in some cinnamon sugar. You gotta do it as soon as it comes out of the oil so that it can stick. They can stick together. Oh, look at this. This looks like a Pop Tart. You gotta do it so that the sugar can actually stick to your actual donut. But if you don't, you'll end up with something like this. Lightly dusted, but not really. Right? So I really wanted to tell you guys that. Listen, I don't care about all of this. The same way. What you could do is just put everything in a bag. Toss it up. Be like, "Ooh, there it is." Hurt yourself, huh? But yeah, you gotta be careful with the oil because it is hot. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to burn yourself. Like it's very hot. Now, your dough is gonna be pillowy, like very pillowy. This is gonna work. So you're gonna wanna inject it with some pumpkin butter, and there is a pumpkin butter recipe. There's two actually on my channel. One live stream, one actual butter is really good. It's perfect for breakfast, like a nice toast with the pumpkin butter and fruit on the side. It's really delicious. I won't lie to you. Eat it all the time. When I have excess pumpkin puree, I make it. That's my that's my winter jam. Not sweet, well, overly sweet, I should say. Has a hint of sweetness. This is the color I wanted for these things. Nice and light and brown. Not these dark things over here that I'm still gonna eat and enjoy. Oh my time. Every single time. Listen, I'm not even mad. I don't even care. So if you can't laugh at yourself, what are you gonna do? I can't cry. I already burnt. Okay. They're dark. No, they're nicely brown. That's what they are. They're nicely brown. They're not burnt. They're not crispy. They don't even taste burnt. That's the whole thing. But here's another thing that we're clearly learning. When you have your sugar and when it's not good. So you may need to change your sugar in between. It's not sticking at all. I got a hint of cinnamon on there. No, not sugar. Sip. And then we're gonna try to fill. Did you break? I'm about to say. We're gonna fill it with some pumpkin butter. Not all, just some. Just because, why not? This is so good. It really is. Listen, guys, don't pay attention to the color. Okay? Color comes with technique. I don't fry things for a living. I bake things for a living. So there's that. I'm going to do my pumpkin butter filling. And it's really just pumpkin butter. I don't know how I'm gonna stab this, like inject it. But like they're soft, right? They're airy, they're bubbly, they're pillowy. They better be cooked. So what I'm gonna do, and this is just because I have the tools, I'm gonna use a piping tip. You can get them at the dollar store. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a specific number, anything. You can get pretty much anything at the dollar store. Now, if you want to invest in proper piping tips, I think Wilton is still a popular brand. You can get Wilton. Eddie Crocker has its own brand of piping tips. Like, there are so many. So I'm using a very big piping bag, but you can use a Ziploc bag. The reason why I'm using it is because I need something to like, right? That's all. So we're the pumpkin butter out. Yeah, where's the pumpkin butter? Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the pumpkin butter? So I made 3 jarfuls of the pumpkin butter. You keep them in the fridge. It is delicious. I made 3 jarfuls. We're gonna use, and I made them maybe like 3 weeks ago. They're so good. We're just gonna. It's so good. We're gonna add it to our pumpkin bag. I'll tell you right now, right? I actually just eat this as is. Pull out the spoon and take a spoon of this. Eat this as is. Like there's no tomorrow. I do, because it tastes good. The next batch that I make, I'm gonna give some away. How people bread pumpkin butter. Come on. Right? It's good. Nice cook. It's cooked. It's delicious. It's good. We're not using a lot. We're just using enough to like fill just to fill a few. But again, pumpkin butter is good on toast. I like it on my pancakes. I made waffles one day, had it with my waffles. It's just good. It's good all around. But it's good on like regular bread toast. That's it. So that's the pumpkin butter that we have. That's over here. I'm not trying to make it work. Listen, you guys need to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to come on over, okay? Because it's a fun place to be. Really is. If you have something like I don't even know. I don't even know this is gonna work because how am I gonna right? It needs something to I don't have anything. If you have ever had like a wanna say two, not too thick, but like a ice maybe you just need something to make an indent. Now, this might not be working properly because um they're so small. Ooh, that's nice and filled. Look at you. But it works. The dough is just really soft enough for it to be good. Like I can feel it moving through. Ooh, that is nice. So you pick it up. It's still warm. It's not hot. And you kind of just it will force you out when it's full. That's usually how this works when you're filling anything, right? Force you out. I'm gonna get a little small one because this is not a lot. I'm filling them. But it'll start forcing you out if you've ever done like eclairs, not eclairs. I felt no toothpaste. After shoot, it will once you put it in, it will push you out once it's full. Like it'll just happen that way. Okay, so it's nice. It's ooh, we're good. Do we have any more to come through? It's a little. We should be good. That's it. Now some of these are not coated in sugar and cinnamon blend because the oil got to the sugar and it doesn't stick anymore. Okay, that's something to look out for. It's not going to stick anymore. You can probably add a little more sugar. Let's see if it works. You can add a little more sugar to it. So, let's see if it works. Let's do it. Might as well just experiment. But it's important to actually, once they're still warm and slightly wet from the oil. Okay, we got the cinnamon. So we'll see. It might not work if you add sugar. This is already it's not gonna work per se. Yeah. So it may not work, but this is not gonna work because it's already cooled down. So there you have it. I made what I wanted to eat this Friday night. Halloween. Baseball game is on. So I'm gonna sit down and watch highlights because I don't watch the game. Okay. So ooh, these are donuts. That's really full. I'm gonna try this wrong one. I want to see what it looks on the inside. Hmm. It has a lot of air pockets. This is a big air pocket, honestly. That really is. It's a big air pocket. But it's so good. It's so good. Oh my goodness. It's really good. I mean, think about it. The these are amazing. The dough itself is not sweet. It has sugar in it, but it's not overly sweet, which is perfect. because ooh, the filling has a hint of sweetness, and then you coat it in sugar or your glaze. Because I was gonna do a glaze, but I'm gonna do it, and I was late. Ooh, yes. Hmm. This is good. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. This is really good. I got my nice little pumpkin color. I got the nice little pumpkin taste. The spices and the flavor of the pumpkin butter just works well with this dough. I really feel I'm not gonna make the donut again with the other dough. About the other dough, I'm talking about this baby right here. And this is the one we made on live stream today. I'm gonna turn that dough into a cinnamon roll because I really feel like the softness because mm, 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 mm. I really feel that it could work as a cinnamon roll, but I may not bake it out like a cinnamon roll because the dough is soft. When I decide what I'll do with it, I'll do with it. But baby, this is delicious. It's good. It's so good. Listen, that is it. I'm gonna dip it in some sugar. That's it, guys. This has been a fun, so good. This has been a fun month. We had a really good time doing Vlogtober this month. I appreciate all of you guys for showing up. It's been fun. We're gonna go back to our weekly live streams starting next weekend. And we're gonna have 5 days of sourdough coming up for November. And we're also going to have a full month of live streaming, and by a month, maybe just 25 days in December. We are going to be doing Vlogmas as live stream, same way we did Vlogtober for live stream. So that's it. This is my attempt at making a major air pocket. It's a huge air pocket. It's good for filling. It's a huge pocket. We are going to call it a night. I'm done. This is a good series. Okay. So for example, because I don't like to lie and hide and all that stuff. See this? It's not necessarily raw. But if you see this and you're like, no, I need it to be cooked a little more, pop it in the oven. But it's not raw. That's just how sourdough is sometimes. Okay. So pop it in the oven. Okay. Pop it in the oven, let it dry out, and you get another product. Same product, but it's cooked more. But these guys, I'm happy with them. I'm still gonna eat them. It's okay. We're not mad at this. We are gonna change technique. We're gonna make sure we have even oil, not too dry. Dry. Oil's not dry. Not too high or anything of the sorts. But to be honest with you, I'm happy. But that's it, guys. I'm done. Thanks for showing up. I'll see you back here next week for another live stream. and then we can talk about what we're gonna do for the month and all that jazz. All right. So that is it. No one answered the poll, so it's okay. We gonna watch this. We gonna watch the game. No one answered the poll. This is the first time no one ever answered my poll. But we are gonna call it a day, and I will see you back here next time. Bye.